Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, I did it again. I said, hey, everybody. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Um, my apologies. Let's see, how are we faring on our different channels? Here we go. Okay. Stop talking. And the funny thing is, when you're trying to figure out whether or not your sound and everything works okay, and you stop, you can't really hear what's going on or anything. Okay, so, all right, now that we know all that's going, it's working, yay. We got about a minute before it's, officially 8 p.m. Oh, no, switched over. So thank you for coming. This is email marketing basics. How to make your embedded YouTube video autoplay. So if you were here last week, or if you saw the video that I made last week, and a couple of weeks prior as well. So for like 3 weeks in a row, I did a series where I'm showing you how to create a lead capture page with lead magnets using at first a picture, just our photo picture, our image, our profile image. And then I said, hey, let's embed a video where the profile image is. And then it was like, hey, want to get the video to autoplay to kind of create movement. The movement that you get from an autoplaying video a lot of times is good enough to catch the person's eye. So I don't care where you're advertising. You could be advertising on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest. You could be in a traffic exchange, which then the competition is insane. Same thing with a safe mail mailer. Competition is pretty hardcore on those things. So you really have to set yourself apart. For lack of a better word, be the purple cow. So just imagine that. So you've got an entire field of those black and white Jersey cows, and there's 100 of them out there. And you see this cluster of black and white cows kind of almost moving in mass like it's one creature. And then you see in the middle of it, boom, a purple cow. Regardless of where that cow is in the herd or how big the herd is, you're always going to see a purple cow in there. If you have not read that book or listened to the audiobook, I highly recommend that you do. It's quite excellent, and it's a short read, short listen to, and it's basically all about how some industry leaders dropped the ball, and they didn't understand how their product could not only be repackaged but remarketed in a better way or a more interesting way, and really making them stand out in the crowd, basically. And that's all we're trying to do here with an autoplay video. I understand a lot of people that have the still, it's a picture and they've got the text on it, and that's all good and well. And I understand there are some platforms that don't allow autoplay video. But at the same time, you really need something to separate yourself. You really need something to catch that person's eye. So that being said, so this is what we're doing. We're doing autoplay video now. There's been a lot of reforms on the internet in the past 10 years especially within the past 2 years. There's been a lot of changes, updates, upgrades, and a lot of companies are changing the way they do business to to conform with these new standards and practices on the internet. And a lot of them have to do with spam and not looking like you're some type of spamming bot just spewing links all over the internet. You really don't want to come across like that. So with all of that, let's get on. I made a small presentation for you. Feel free to take some screen captures because you're really going to want to see the text. And honestly, there's only like one little line that you're going to have to retype. All right, so let's share that screen. I didn't even share the screen. I did that one time. I did almost a half of a presentation and did not share the screen. It was quite embarrassing. All right, and here we go. All right, and we're gonna play. Okay, so now, as I said to you before, everything we're doing here with the lead magnets and the video and the capture, it all seems really, really advanced, especially if you're new. The newer you are, the more advanced it's going to appear, just for no other reason other than lack of experience. Once you start getting some experience, it'll turn into old hat real quick, and you're like, "Oh, how do I spice this up a little bit?" All right, so now I know what you're screaming. You're screaming, "No, not coding, please! Anything but coding." It's okay. It's just a little tiny line. It's just a little tiny bit. Okay, so as you can see below here, I have the YouTube code. Okay, this is whenever you see a YouTube video, any YouTube video. It doesn't even have to be one you made, but I highly recommend you make a video for your lead capture page. Okay, this is the one I made for my lead capture page. Now, as you can see, if you go down to where it says www.youtube.com/embed, and then the 9K11U7 blah 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 91 quote, and then title, in that little area, in that little space, there needs to be one line of code added to give your video a little bit of control. Now, remember what I was saying before about all the spam and the non-spam conforming, trying to make what you're doing conform to all the rules and regulations that are expected on the internet. So what they did was to make videos less invasive. All the browsers will not allow an autoplay unless you've initiated mute. So your video has to be mute when it autoplays. That's why I'm talking about catching the person's eye. You got to catch their eye. And a lot of times, especially when someone's on their telephone, they're on their iPhone or Android, their Droid phone, Windows phone, whatever phone. A lot of times when they're on it, they're in public, they'll have the volume turned all the way down. So even if you had autoplay with volume, they wouldn't hear it. And way back when I used to be really strong in traffic exchanges and safe mailers, what I would do is I would mute my entire computer so I couldn't hear, because it's on my keyboard. It's just one keystroke on my keyboard to mute all the sound that comes out of my computer. So that way, when I was going through and I was doing the surfing, I wouldn't get startled by some disembodied noise that appeared to come out of thin air. And I was told a lot of other people was doing that as well. So you had your video, you have your autoplay video, you just don't have any sound. Now, I've clicked on video before that didn't have any sound, that was already autoplaying, just because I saw something interesting in there. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, Are you confused yet? You might be, because I'm using a lot of words and I'm explaining, but I'm not really showing you or demonstrating anything, okay? So before you go nuts, I will demonstrate. This is the block of code that you get with YouTube. So you ask YouTube, you tell it you're going to embed the video. This is the code it spits out. Now, so before autoplay, you can see between the actual source of the video and the title tag of the video, there are no control tags. Now, here we go. This is where things are going to get really interesting. You see the red print? That is the only line of code you need. Oh, son of a gun, I did it wrong. I don't have the, if you took a screen capture of this, erase it. I'm going to fix this real quick on the fly. So just give me a second. Okay, so sorry, this is completely embarrassing. All right, so let's see if I can save this. We have a couple of minutes. So, anyone into sports out there? I'm just kidding. I don't really follow sports. I know that's so weird. I'm asking about sports. I don't follow sports. There are people who don't follow sports. They just get into it because it is a great icebreaker. Unbelievable icebreaker. So you're meeting someone, you guys have nothing in common, and you're trying to build up a rapport with them rather quickly. So you can't play 20 questions with them. So that's why sports, a lot of times, sports will come in handy, because it's a great way to build rapport with someone without actually, okay, hang on for a second. Okay, that's what I forgot. Idiot. So. Okay, that was not going to work at all. All right, and we're going to save. Screen share again. Okay, so as you can see, I corrected the code. So you can go ahead and take a screenshot of this page. And what you're going to see here is where the question mark is. That's where there was a quote. You're going to want to remove that end quote, put the question mark there, and then everything in red. So this is the code here that'll take a non-autoplay video and make it an autoplay video. All right. So, and you notice that I have it set for autoplay equals 1. 1 is yes, 0 is no. So everything equals 1 right now, except for the controls. We're not showing, the control things. That's at 0. And then autoplay's at 1. Mute is at 1. They can unmute it. It's really easy. And then loop is at 1, because you want the video to loop, to continue to loop, to have movement on it. That way, if they don't get to it right away, if they're flipping through tabs and they don't get to it for like a minute or two, the video will still be playing and it will still catch their eye. So that's why we want loop to equal 1 as well. And then that's where we put the closing quotation mark. That's where it goes at the end of that statement. So there's my mouse. It's all bzz, bzz, flying away, flying away. So now I know I'm flipping, like flipping back and forth, flipping back and forth. Lead, sleep, graphics. Hello. Here we go. Okay. Now this is cool. So you guys remember what we did last time, right? Share and approve. There we go. Okay. So here we are in Page Manager. We're going to launch that editor. And then we're just going to click on where we put our video last week, right in that box there. And this is all of our code. Now, I went ahead and I had already copied the code. So when I put it in here, now you notice the video in the preview is not playing at all, okay? But when I put the code in here, and as you can see, here it is. There's the question mark, controls, autoplay, mute, and loop. And then the closing quote, and then right in the title, blah, blah, blah. So once I have that in there, I'm just going to hit save. I'm going to say okay. Oh no, I forgot. I need to adjust the size. Oh, that is so disheartening. So basically where it says iframe width, I'm just going to cut this back maybe to 80%. Oh, put it back at 100. Okay, then I'm just going to manipulate it in this manner. Nope, it won't. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is here where it says width at 560 pixels, I'm just going to start backing that off. Backing it off, backing it off, backing it off. Now you can see I'm getting some type of error. Let's see what that error is all about. Just going to do it so it goes inside the lines because we don't want anything outside of the lines like that. There we go. What's the dealio here? Why is it not? Whoops. Okay. Let's then, real quick, let me run to that video again. Well, this is our live presentation here. I'm going to go to the channel and videos. I need to remember all this stuff off the top of my head. Okay, this guy here. And share, embed. Okay, so here's the source. Yeah, that's the exact same source. 9K, what in the world? Okay, so let's say save. Let's just real quick go to save. Work saved. Quick preview. Oh no, that didn't work at all. Okay. Quick preview off. Maybe I needed the quote in there before the question mark. Save. That is the weirdest thing. All right. You know, I had this thing working. It's just so weird. 438. So let's just back everything off. So let's grab this again, copy, and then put that in here. And let me look at my source mail. Yeah, see, they don't have that closing quote there either. It's just a question mark. And then controls, blah, 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 blah. So question mark. Controls equals 0. Ampersand. Ampersand. No, it worked that time. Okay, now as you can see, the minute I put in the correct code, the video started to autoplay. Copy. So yeah, the closing quote wasn't there. It was just a question mark, controls equal. I might have had a typo somewhere in there, and that's why it didn't do it properly. But the main point is that's where you want your controls, your autoplay, your mute, and your loop. Ampersand loop equals 1. And then closing quotation mark. That's all basically you really need. And then when we go in for the full preview, there you go. And there it is. It's automatically playing. But the person has to be able to unmute it. Okay, so remember when controls equals 0? Controls now need to equal 1. Controls equal 1, save. Now our controls are here, okay? So when I go in to do the full preview, now they can go ahead and unmute it. There you go. And now it's unmuted, you can go ahead. And this is so cool because what it looks like on a tablet, and we can also see what it looks like on a cell phone, okay? So there you go. And we have our lead magnets here on the bottom. We have our warning, please check your inbox to confirm and receive your bonuses. So that's very, very important. And we can go back and close this down now. I hit save again because I'm a worrier. I hit save a lot. And now, when we go here and I go to use, and copy. And now you can see, boom, we have it autoplay. I can unmute it, mute it back. Everything works just the way it's supposed to work. So that is just a little bit of terrific right there. Boom. So stop the sharing, close that down. Delete. Oh, you got to be kidding me. All right, forget that. Oh, so let's go ahead and share the screen, entire screen. Here we go. Okay, so, and approval. Okay, so as you can see, things got just a little bit, confusing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and copy that little piece of code, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the description, so that you guys know, this is the code I need to copy over. And then after watching the video, you should know exactly where it needs to go. So as you can see, that little tiny piece of small code made all the difference in the world. Now tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, we're going to talk about Pinterest, the magical, mystical traffic machine. 8 p.m. Eastern Daily Time on Facebook and YouTube. So, I'm learning every day, leaps and bounds, and I'm improving every day better and better. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing thing. I have new hope. Even though I have cancer, I have a new hope for the future. So everyone's pain point is traffic. We all need traffic. We need targeted, qualified traffic. We want people who are interested in what we have to say to see what we're publishing. And Pinterest is the perfect platform. And before you go thinking the last thing you need is another social media platform, keep one thing in mind. Pinterest, although it does have a social thing to it, it is not a social media platform. It is actually a search engine. Yep, it's a search engine, and it's just focused on content. Yeah, I mean, all search engines are blah, blah, blah. But think about it. It's got its own ocean of content, and its crawlers are just crawling all over it constantly. So it's pretty exciting, because even in the beginning, from the beginning, you might have one or two, maybe 3 followers if you're lucky, people following you. So just keep that in mind, that even though you have, almost no followers, you're still going to get traffic. I have 5 followers and I still get traffic. So speaking of that, just keep in mind, anybody that follows me on Pinterest, I will happily follow you back. And about 2 or 3 times a week, I add all kinds of new bonuses to my particular Pinterest page. So there's going to be, free bonuses section, especially for marketers. So you're going to want to check it out. And like I said, I'm going to be adding to it very regularly to keep all the good stuff going. So thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. I lost my mouse. When you're on your computer and you lose your mouse, it feels like you're losing your mind. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, so thank you so much for coming out and hearing what I have to say. I kept this at a tight 30 minutes. It wasn't easy. I had to really, concentrate so I wouldn't keep on going off subject on these weird tandems, but I really think 30 minutes is the perfect little time slot, you know? Now, of course, when we get a lot more people watching, a lot more people asking questions, it might be closer to 40 minutes, but still really tight, jam-packed with good, useful information. So there you all have it. The first link in the description is the link for Lead Sleep. Anybody who joins under my link gets my full support. You will always know how to do something with me in your corner. And as you can see, when I don't know how to do something, I quickly just go to support. And Lead Sleep, they're awesome. They're not like, oh, we charge extra for HTML or whatever, or we don't build pages for people. It was nothing like that. They just went ahead, gave me the code, and saved me all kinds of time researching and trial and error. And as you can see, even when you do know how to do it, it can still be a little bit tricky. One little space out of the way, one little quotation mark out of the way. So anyone, if you need help with this, you could private message me or you could leave a comment. I check those regularly as well. So again, thank you. Have a great night. Be happy, be prosperous.